Slightly different video today, guys. I'm actually going to be walking the streets. I decided to bring Ted along to show real life what it actually looks like to be a developer and how to acquire the best sites. So when I say I'm walking the streets, we've identified 4 sites today that we're going to be knocking on their doors. Okay, we're not just knocking on their doors cold. We wrote a letter to them at the start of the week, which was posted Monday. But on Thursdays and Fridays, we go and knock on the doors to introduce ourselves, just to see if there's any level of interest. Now I'm telling you now, our competition, this is how we found our best sites, because the competition is easy to write letters, and you've probably heard of the whole direct to vendor strategy, which is great, okay? But the reality of someone responding doesn't always happen. However, we go one step further. I will go and knock on the door, introduce myself, see if there's a level of interest, explain what the opportunity and the benefits could look like to the landowner. And the goal ultimately is, if there is a level of interest, to then book a meeting at our office. Or alternatively, if they're not interested, perhaps they might be interested in 12, 18 months, 24 months, depending on what their situation is. I will take notes. I'll also take a telephone number and an email address, which means that they go into our database, and if they agree, they will then be contacted regularly. The key in this game is always being at the front of the landowner's mind, okay? When they're looking to sell and when the opportunity changes, are they going to think of George Ball? That's the purpose of today. So we're going to go through 3 life examples. We've got a title split opportunity, we've got a backland opportunity, and we've also got an application that was rejected. All 3 opportunities, I believe there is something there. Let's go and see if we have any joy, and let's walk the streets. So the first site we're at today is an application that was submitted back in 2016 that was approved for a single dwelling, a single 3-bed dwelling. And the application had a lifespan of 3 years. After the 3rd year, nothing's been done. And we visited the property today and we've done a drive-by, and we can confirm that no building works have started, okay? Nothing's been done whatsoever. And there could be a number of reasons for that. So I wrote a letter to them, explaining to them that we believe there's some residential potential and would like to have a chat with them. I'm about to go and knock on the door now, armed with all the information that I need to introduce myself. If there is a level of interest, great, they might invite me in for a cup of tea. And the purpose of today is not to talk about numbers, it's just to introduce myself. And if there is a level of interest, we'll then to look to have a meeting next week, either A, at my offices, or B, in their front room. It depends what the vendor wants and what their requirements are. But ultimately, that is the goal for today. So let's see how we get on. I'm going to head over there now and knock on the door. It's a little bit earlier than what we normally do, but I see there's 2 cars in, so the probability of someone answering is quite good. But here we go. Speak to you in a bit. Okay, so first site of the day. Knocked on the door, I'm afraid no one was in. Doesn't mean that the game's over though. Like I said, our no answer postcard. I write a little personalised message in there just explaining that I was in the area. Sorry I missed you. If you want to talk again, here's my details. I'll also include my business card. That gets posted through the letterbox. Okay. When I get back to the car on my iPad, I will update the CRM system to ensure that we go back and visit this property. I think it's a good opportunity still, okay? And more importantly, when I'm on site, it gives me an opportunity to take some photos, to have a look at the main road, visibility space. Are there any trees? Are they utilising the space where the new build was proposed? Just little things like this that can help aid when we do get a phone call, just little prompts. But again, guys, on to the next site. Let's see if we get any more joy on the next one, and hopefully we do. Okay, so we're at site number 2 for the day. We parked about 100 metres around the corner, and there's a method in my madness why I do that. I always like to park a little bit away from the site because it gives me an opportunity to walk up, have a look at the character of the dwellings and the buildings around, have a look at what's parked on the road, okay? Have a look at the traffic flows, visibility space. I've just walked past the house, okay? Now I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to take a guess that it's probably an elderly lady that owns the property. The garden area, the landscaping is all massively overgrown, which generally refers to the fact that it's going to be someone that's more elderly, as a general rule of thumb. So this opportunity, what is it? Well, there's a double garage, so it's a row of 3 terrace properties, and then attached to the terrace property, at the end terrace property, there is a double garage, approximately about 17 metres wide. Now straight away I can see the opportunity, 17 metres wide. If we look to demo the garage, there could be a possibility to get in a pair of semis, probably 3 beds. Now I'm not just saying that and guessing that, I'm looking at what's been approved down the road. Now about 12 months ago, a similar application got approved. So I'm going to look to replicate a very, very similar scheme. So the letter goes sent out. I'm going to now go and knock on the door and see if the vendor has any interest. The fact that she's elderly, I've got to approach this very differently with my communication. I'm going to be a little bit slower, make sure she understands exactly what I'm saying, and if there is any level of interest. As you can imagine, someone knocking on your door at 5 o'clock in the evening, a male, it can put a lot of people off. So again, let's see if we have any joy, and if we don't, we'll post this through the door and we'll leave the business card, and you never know, and it'll go back into the system to door knock. So I'll keep you guys updated. I can't take you there unfortunately, but watch this space, all right? Okay, we have some progress. So I went and knocked on the door and I actually spoke with the son-in-law of the lady that owns the property. And he explained to me that his father-in-law passed away last year. The property is too big just for his mother-in-law, and they're now exploring potentially what they can do with the property. They are aware that it has some development potential. The reason being is they've received my letter and probably 3 other letters in the last 12 months. I came and introduced myself, gave them my business card, and I also explained to them the process and what it would entail in terms of getting a residential planning application. They're quite clear and they understand the benefits, and they took my business card. So the next step now is I explain to them that when you are looking to sell, they're not looking to put the property in the market just yet. Make sure you speak with myself first. Now I've got a call with them booked in 3 weeks' time with both himself and his wife to talk about the opportunity for the property and what it potentially could be worth to them. At this stage I don't know, but very, very high level I believe there's an opportunity for a pair of 3-bed semi-detached houses, because there's been precedent literally about 100 metres up the road there. So again, all bodes well. Let's see how this one transpires, but again the key is going to be in the follow-up. So the notes in the diary to make the phone call. We're going to send an email out tonight with our prospectus and the associated time frame. So we also do what we call a roadmap from start to finish, just so they can see what's actually involved, and hopefully we can get some traction on this. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're at the third and final site today. Now this particular site's a little bit different from the 2 previous in the sense it's in a slightly higher value area. Now the road that we're about to go down has large 4, 5, 6 bedroom houses, which comes with its challenges when it comes to door knocking. However, this particular property I think has enormous potential. The reason for it being is all down this road, the houses have huge, great big back gardens. Now there is precedent, okay, in this local authority for backland schemes. So a backland scheme essentially is building a house behind another house. So behind the row of houses, we're looking to build another house behind it. So we're looking to demolish the garage, create an access down the side of the property, and then look to build another dwelling behind it, because they've got lovely, great big 60-metre back gardens. Now if I can do that with one of the gardens and get the access from the main road, it will allow me to potentially look at a land assembly opportunity by buying additional gardens either side, which then will create a more profitable and a larger scheme. So again, let's watch this space, let's see how we get on with the door knock and see if there is any level of interest. I'll keep you tuned. Okay, so we've just gone and knocked on the door, and I spoke with the lady who owns the property. Very nice lady, but she very politely explained to me that this is not something of interest, as she doesn't intend to move for the next 5 to 10 years. So in these type of scenarios, we're not trying to convince someone to sell their house or their plot of land. All we do is make sure we give the best representation. I let them know who we are, okay, and if for any reason they look to change their mind, okay, we tell them there's potentially an opportunity that could be financially beneficial to them. And if they are looking to sell, please don't forget us and give us a call. So again, you can't win them all.